as much as I love to read and as much as reading changed my life, going to the library changed my life. You know, because I never wanted to go home. I mean, no kid really wants to go home, but I really didn't ever want to go home. And so I remember I was in kindergarten at Broad Street School, and school would be out at 2 o'clock, and I would walk from Broad Street School to Adams Memorial Library on Central Avenue in Central Falls. And I would stay there until it got dark. And then I would walk home. And every time I walked home, I would run because I was terrified. But I couldn't leave. It was almost like stepping into the land of Oz. You know, the colorful beanie bags and the smell of the books. And I would just take book after book after book off the shelf and disappear in my imagination into the world of Dr. Seuss and corduroy. I just remember all the books I would read. And even if it were the most imaginary, colorful, I'd just escape into it. And it was a relief from my life. That's how I saw it. And then all the librarians in the book, Denise, because Denise always saved half of her lunch for me. So it was, it was like Pavlov's dog. As soon as I ran into the library, I would stand in front of the front desk and wait for Denise. And she would say, "Viola, I know what you're waiting for." And I go, and she always had half of a tuna fish sandwich and a little cake. And then I'd go downstairs to the children's section, and that was it. I just love stories. And what appeals to me about any story that I read, because I'm very, very much into dramatic structure, is I have to feel like I'm going on a journey with these characters. I really have to feel like I'm honoring their lives, that I'm not sort of watering it down to make it palpable to people who actually don't want to hear it, because then you're sort of like going against the whole reason why you're doing it to begin with. And all the books that I read growing up, Man-Child in the Promised Land, that was the first really serious book that I read that changed my life from the perspective of Claude Brown. And it was straight, no chaser. It was not watered down at all. It was honest. It was insightful. And that's what I look for in narratives. I look for what's different, what's going to wake people up, what's going to give them a dose of truth. You know, which you can only do with writing. That's the foundation of everything that we do as actors and producers. So that's what I look for.